Welcome to the Weekend Investing Daily Bite. It's Monday, May 24th. Let's look at how the market was doing today. So, small cap index was the front runner, up about 1%. Nifty was more or less flat. It gave up most of the gain that we had earlier in the day, and largely the banks were running. We'll see that in the sectoral makeup. But the market continues to edge up gradually, and there seems to be renewed buying interest in several pockets in the market. In within the sectoral indices, the PSU banks again on the back of good earnings report from State Bank on Friday continued that momentum. Some energy companies were also up, public sector enterprises were also up, and private banks were up as well. Other sectors were reasonably flat or slightly negative. Metals were again on the back of news from futures market in China being weak today. Metals were taking a beating. In terms of the weekly and monthly makeup, the banks, the PSU banks, and the public sector enterprise, and the metal space is still leading on a monthly basis, and there is a perceptible rotation that is happening in the market from one sector to the other. In terms of weekend investing, small case performances, NNF10, this is my favorite small case. It has surprised me by a large margin so far this year. It was up 1.75%, and this probably is also due to the fact that it has exposure to Adani stocks, and that segment, that group is certainly moving very fast. MI30, MI50 also were gainers. MI25 was a surprise loser despite small caps gaining. There were a couple of stocks in MI25 which fell sharply today post their earnings. So it was a minor setback there. Overall, however, for the financial year, MI25 is up 30% plus, so which is a very, very healthy figure for 6-7 weeks of the current year. In terms of topic for the day, we choose one topic for the day mostly derived from the requests from our users or on Twitter followers. And these are simple topics which likely most of you already know about them, or there are thousands of other videos to talk about it. But because we try to keep it concise in 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes, and also offer you a something to calculate it yourself as a Google sheet that we will do in this session, is you get motivated to try it out yourself, and once you try it out yourself, you get to actually know how this is done. So that is the whole purpose of trying to get you to focus on something on a daily basis, and thereby everybody's learning may go up. So Mr. Yogesh had asked for XIRR calculations for SIP investments on small case. On small case, we do not have XIRR calculations as of now. I am sure they will build that in due course. So the three types of portfolio returns, and I have always said that you must know what is your returns on your portfolio. I am 100% sure that 80 to 90% people, and this is not the Twitter crowd, right? So Twitter crowd is very, very intelligent, and they are matured sort of investors, much more than the common market. So I mean, don't take it otherwise, but a lot of people in the market do not actually know what are their returns in their mutual funds, what are their returns in their direct investing. They will just keep on ad hoc basis, keep adding money, withdrawing money. After 5 years, there is no idea what kind of return your capital has made. And this I can tell you is at least 80 to 90% people are in that category. That they have absolutely no clue what is happening in their portfolio. So I will go through 2-3 simple ways of how to calculate returns, and how you can use these as benchmark to compare different strategies or different time periods of your involvement in the portfolio, or if you want to compare 3 different offerings from market intermediaries. So one is the first most basic return calculator is absolute return. So we'll look at these three: absolute return, compounded annual growth rate. There's CAGR. You have heard it so many times, but we will understand how this is done. And extended internal rate of return, XIRR. So these are the three types of returns that we will talk about. So absolute returns is very, very simple. So you start at point one and you invested X amount and you harvested Y amount at some point, right? The gap between the two is your absolute return. So we will see that in example. How is that? So ending value divided by beginning value minus one, that will give you the absolute returns on that, right? If you multiply it with 100, you'll get the percentage also. For CAGR, you will do a ending value divided by beginning value to the power of 1 divided by n number of years minus 1 to get the CAGR. Now, when you use CAGR is basically when you are wanting to do multiple years and getting a annual return. So we all love averages a lot. So even though the distribution of those moves may be very different in each year, but we want to get an idea about what would have been the compounded annual growth rate. So for that approximation, you need to do it in this fashion. Let's see an example here. So this example is based on our own strategy, MIMT all cap. It's one of my favorite strategies. This started at 100 rupees or in index of 100 on 1st April 2016, not so far back actually. And let me just take 1 minute to even explain how this strategy has done in the last 5 years. So you can see April 16 onwards, it started going up along with the market and it kept going up till August 2018, much after the crash here that we had in small caps, etc. So this is an all cap strategy. So from 100, the index went to 276 odd. 176% return in 2.5 years, or maybe two years and 1 quarter, right? And then there was a drawdown from 276 down to about 210, right? So about, let's say 30% to 30% drawdown we had here in this August 18 to beginning of 19. And then there was a flat portion, probably a lot of times strategy sitting in cash, and then again a small bump up, but again a crash. So no real gains in this entire period for 2 years, almost 2 years, I think. So August 30th, 18, and we crossed this peak again in August 20. So 2 years you would have been tossing and turning in frustration. But as soon as that 2 year period ended and the strategy started performing again along with the trends in the market, you can see that from 276 we are now at 647. So there are periods of strong growth, there are periods of downtrends, there are periods of stagnation, and this is all what forms a proper a strategy. So if you were entering here, you may have got frustrated and you may have left it here, but that is not the intention in a long-term strategy. You need to stick out all these periods. So coming back to the topic, so absolute returns would have been 647 minus 100 divided by 100, so which is 547%, right? So beginning value, ending value minus the beginning value divided by 100. CAGR in the same time period, 647 divided by beginning value 100 raised to the power of 1 divided by 5.15. 5.15 number of years is what we're calculating over minus 1. So that CAGR calculation is 43.74%. So over this period, the compounded annual growth rate is 43.7%. Now let's go back to our sheet and see what is the third one, XIRR. So what is XIRR? So there is something called internal rate of return. So far we had one investment and one output of that to compare, right? So there was only one entry and one exit. Now suppose you are doing SIP, or you are doing tranches of gradual additions to your portfolio, or even if you may be withdrawing some portions at various times, and these may not be at regular intervals. So if this was a SIP with regular interval, you could have used IRR, but extended IRR is basically at irregular intervals, irregular payments going in or out. That is when we use XIRR. So XIRR was made very popular by Excel actually. And in small case, if you are using SIPs, or you are investing more at times, or you are withdrawing partly at some point of time, all this is possible in small case, by the way. So let's see how this calculation would have happened. So this sheet is something that I will provide you. This sheet is something that I will provide you on the Telegram channel today. So let me just get this out of the way. Okay. So here we are populating a table where we are entering the cash flows. So basically what we are saying is that, let's say 1st June 2017, we put in an investment of 50,000 rupees. So we will enter it as an outflow from us. So hence we use the negative 50,000. Similarly, 23rd August 2017, we added 55,000 more. Right? So you will list all these dates of your investment and the amounts that you are investing. Okay. And in the end, till here we have invested. 6th February 2020 was our last installment that we have put in the market at 118,000, 1,18,000. Now let's say 1st June 2020, our portfolio is worth 17 lakhs. Okay. Total investment we have done so far is about 10 lakhs. If you add all the entries from here to here, it's at 10 lakhs. Now, what is happening is that this 50,000 has been invested for 1,096 days, if you calculate it. This 55,000 was invested for 1,013 days. So each installment was invested for a different period, right? So there needs to be a way of calculating what is the estimated returns on this capital. It is not an accurate return, but it is an estimation for our understanding purpose. So we will use a formula of XIRR in Excel, which is simply, you have to use this formula is equal to XIRR brackets, choose the table of your cash flows. So D14 to D16 is D14 to D16 here. The last one will be your outcome. That's why it is positive. And the earlier ones are negative because they are inputs. So we have chosen all the cash flows. So out, in, last one, let's say. So this is what we have done for the first parameter of XIRR. The second parameter is the date. So C4 to C16. This entire column we have selected till 16 in the XIRR, and you have entered, and you'll get 44.28%. So 44.28% is the extended internal rate of return of your capital. Your capital was not 10 lakhs to start with. You invested only 50,000 on first day. So you have to see it a effective rate of return on this entire capital. Okay. Now absolute return also you could have seen. Total investment is 10 lakhs over a period of 3 years, let's say, and it ended at 17 lakhs. So absolute return is 70%, but it is not telling you accurately what was the return on this capital along this entire 3-year period. I hope I've been able to, get some of this nuance across. Second case could be, let's say, we have investment start date again at 1st June, 10 lakhs, 3 years later. Absolute return is again 70%, but CAGR is 19.33%. Because here we have started with one investment, ended at the same point, but CAGR is 19.3% because more capital was involved from day one. And in this case, the capital was distributed along those 3 years. And that capital could have made better use before it was getting invested also. So you need to do XIR is like God for returns. So you need to do XIRR for all your investing, not just your stock portfolio, but all your assets. Every calculation should actually be XIRR, and that should determine whether you are doing the strategy or portfolio rightly, or you should change, or you should, go get some strategy from weekend investing. Whatever is your choice. So this is all about the returns. This Google sheet it will be shared on the Telegram channel, so no worries on that. And you can manipulate this sheet for your returns. You could add rows in this and change things around. If you need help on this, you can send us mail. We'll try to help you. So let's go back to our sheet and so I think this is what we have for the day. The summary is that you will use CAGR when you have one-time investment and when there are no topping up. So it's just a flat sort of over a period you want to see the CAGR. Whereas XIRR you will use when there are multiple entries, exits, SIPs, different types of amounts of investments and top-up time frames. So this is all I had for the Daily Bite today. I hope we have all learned something new. The Telegram channel in the description below has a link. Some of you have not been able to get to the Telegram channel directly. So what I will do is to suggest you to copy paste that Telegram link into any Telegram chat. If you're having a chat with your friend, just put that link there and then click it. For some applications, it works that way and not directly from the link. So and if you're not able to get it to work, you send us your mobile number on the email to us, and we will try to add you from our side. So keep sending us your suggestions for Daily Bites, and have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.